As we look at our work, there are 5 strands or 5 components within our strategic leadership plan. Of those, I specifically lead one, globally effective students. The work inside of that strand is about how we're going to lay out guidelines for students that kind of frame their work and what they're doing, as opposed to telling them exactly what they need to do. There are really 3 big pieces that we're looking at. One I mentioned a little earlier was adding the 4 C's to the steps to college and career readiness. The other one is about piloting and implementing a learning management system. And then finally, the last 2 really are about adaptive learning systems, where we go. And so when you look at all of those, it's about curriculum, instruction, and assessment. So with the POP, originally I started out thinking in terms of course, high stakes accountability, where we were going with K-Prep. Also, our universal screener, measure of academic progress, MAP. How are our students doing on that? And those are really good things to look at, but really they're more bookends for me now. As I've moved to thinking about the POP, it's not just about what everybody else is doing, but it's about me. And so one of the things that I think I've finally worked through and gotten to the point of making it work is looking at the strategic leadership plan in terms of the different strands, and then looking at each component in the strands in terms of where are we with that, what is my impact, what am I doing, what kinds of meetings am I involved in, what is the feedback I'm giving to my team, to district leaders, whether they're at central office or whether they're in a building, and how that affects each of those components. So when I have conversations, what's going on in the back of my mind is, what is our next step with this? How do we move to the next piece of the strategic leadership plan? How do I know I'm being effective is I've measured where were we at in August with the implementation of those pieces, and then looking at where we are now. And so I'm able to see that my actions daily are pushing that forward. So I can see by the end of the year we absolutely will have a new set of steps to college and career readiness, but it will be built by our teachers, looking at all of the pieces. And the nice thing about it is it's not an isolated strand, because it's about teacher leadership, and that's what we really want. Adaptive learning systems and learning management systems are the same things. I find myself turning more and more and asking for teacher input and other leaders' input. So my interactions with staff across the district have increased, and I think that is a positive measurement of that. So when I began to chart all of this out, I expect to see, when I look at the beginning of the year, what was implemented, what was partially implemented, and what hasn't been implemented at all, and I look at the end of the year, I expect to see a much higher piece on things that have been fully implemented, and then the desired benefits that came along with it.